Hello, everyone. Once again, this is the NewOaks AI Podcast with myself, Leland Best of AIOchatbots.com, and my good friend and CEO of NewOaks AI, Ray Luan. Welcome to the broadcast, Ray. How you doing?
Hi, Leland. Nice to see you again. I'm doing
I,
very well.
I like the new
Yeah,
shirt. That's the new shirt, isn't
yeah,
it, that you're wearing? Now we're talking.
yeah.
I,
Well,
I like,
yeah,
I like it.
yeah. I have been. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will send out the shirt sometime. If we can get some lottery going on.
Yeah, I'm
You
looking
know,
forward to it. I
some
want one.
point. Yeah,
I
yeah,
like black and white too. It's a good contrast for branding. It just
yeah.
it stands out and it does the right thing for people. I think it's not too pushy, it's not too bold and
Yeah.
snazzy, but it's just kind of clean cut to the point. Let's get some work done kind
Yeah.
of thing, right?
Classic and professional, right? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So you're looking good, Ray. What do we got going on? I mean, I'm happy to have you here again today. I know it's been quite a journey just since the beginning of this year. We've
Yeah.
gone through a lot of steps, a lot of growth over at New Oaks. So
Yes.
let's just get with the trends. I mean, we've been coming out here to tell people what's happening in AI, and there's a lot going on with AI, new models, lesser pricing. We're seeing everything kind of come together where it's becoming affordable for everyone. We got people building their own LLMs now because they can
Yeah.
do that instead of
Yes.
relying on, they could grab the llama model if they want. But what else is going on right now in the current landscape of AI?
Oh, there are a lot of things going on recently, and especially last week, that the first news was Character AI was acquired by Google for 2.5 billion in terms of valuation, I think. Well, I think that it is something that I or all of entrepreneurs or business owners should really pay attention to, because Character AI is one of the unicorn startup that raised a lot of funding from the venture capital business, right? So
Mhm.
one the founder is one the found one the founders are one founding members of the most famous transformer article that Google
Oh,
published, which is foundation of ChatGPT.
mhm.
So and all these and currently AI has their own large language model, right? They
Mhm.
build their own large language model just to train the chatbot, and to be more emotional and
Mhm.
personalized chatbot to talk to people, provide emotion value, right?
Mhm.
And sentimental value. But I think that the acquisition tells a lot as an entrepreneur. I think one of the reasons is that I think still Character AI is a big company already, big startup company, I think, but still they did not find product market fit. That's why they almost burned out of their raised fund and
Mhm.
has to be sold to Google. And interestingly, Google just kept the founding team. I mean, the reason Google acquired them is they want the team, right?
Mhm.
They want the people, not the large language model, not the product, just the people. So they kept the people, and Character AI is still running on its own, but they
Okay.
will use open source model, not training their own model anymore,
Mhm.
because at the end, right? At the end of the day, I don't think we need like hundreds of large language models. We just need at most three large
One
language
really good
models.
one. Yeah, one
Right.
really
One
good one
really
is
good
what
one.
we need.
Do the work, right? Which can do the work,
Yeah.
and the rest, and we need someone competing with it. And we may need the third one to compete with those first two, and that's it. We don't need so many large language models. And eventually it doesn't matter like how much money you raise, right, from venture capitalists, and how much how big team you have, and doesn't matter like how big is your DAO. For example, Character AI has like 7 million daily active users, but their conversion rate of paid users is very
Mhm.
low, is
Mhm.
on less than 2%.
Oh, wow.
Means, yeah, less than like 100K users pay them every day
Wow.
out of the 7 million active users. So it tells me a lot that like we said last time, the 99% of the AI startup, I raised the number from 90% to 99%.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Did not find product market fit.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's also the challenge that I think me and also all the AI startups are facing, right? Find the right market. And people still not do not know what AI can do other than just talk to
No,
them, right? Like a
no,
friend.
it can't.
AI companionship. Yeah, I think that's the status quo.
That's what we found
So
was that was the first model developed over on OpenAI when they gave people the ability to create their
yes.
own bot
Mhm.
avatar.
Yeah.
90% of them were just female companions for men. That's really all
Yes.
they were. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
for something
Yeah.
for a guy
Or
to talk to and have a conversation with. So sad
yeah.
truth of the matter, but it is the way it goes sometimes. So let's stick with Chat GPT for a minute there, Ray. A lot of news going on over at OpenAI. What's the latest? There's a couple of people over there that have maybe changed their minds about working with Chat GPT and OpenAI. What's the word?
Yeah. So in Twitter, the words are spreading around that the core team of AI has fallen apart. I think
Yeah.
one of the key guy, just as the picture shows, Greg Brockman, he didn't leave, but he announced that he's taking a sabbatical leave, but
Yeah.
until the end of this year. I think we take that as a leave, right? As
Hmm.
a pre-announcement of a leave.
Hmm.
And also John Schumann joined. Head of their alignment team joined Anthropic, right? The
Yep.
the company who create the cloud. So there's a joke said, there's a meme said whenever I wake up, the head of alignment team of OpenAI, change left, right? Every time you wake up, the head of alignment team left.
Yeah.
So I
It's
really want to know, what's going on, and I really like Greg. I think Greg is one of the core or one of the
yeah.
soul of the made the founding team of OpenAI, other than Sam Altman. He's a good guy. He's in charge. He was in charge of the product, right,
Mhm,
and the
mhm,
engineering. And early on, their chief scientist Iya Sutskever was doing the research, but he's the
mhm.
guy who has all the technology, right? Who owns the technology, who knows that what's going to happen in the future. And Sam Altman, on the other hand, is the CEO and do all the branding, marketing, sales, and promotion stuff. So the
Kind of like you.
signal, yes, wow. No, I'm more technical, right, than some of my. I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
think
I get it. I
I
get
was
it.
a software engineer myself,
Mhm,
but I think one of the signals that I sensed, it's just my assumption, right? It could
mhm,
not, it may not be right, but I sense the team, the culture, the direction of OpenAI is going into the more of a marketing and sales direction instead of keep their competitive edge in the disruptive technology development side.
mhm.
So I think that's an alert for all of the AI professionals and startup founders like
Yeah,
myself and you, right?
good point.
I don't think it's a good signal because at the end of the day, AI is still technology driven.
Mhm,
I remember that Steve Jobs once said, um, one startup grow and become bigger, eventually the salespeople will replace the technology people and
mhm.
in charge of the company, and that's when the company failed,
Yeah.
right? If you see the CEO of the company just can't do product, marketing, sales, and branding, but
Mhm,
knows nothing about or didn't care much about technology
mhm.
and products, that's when the company fails. So I'm really worried about for OpenAI. I think the team is falling apart,
Yeah.
right? I
And
think
it
OpenAI. Yeah, go ahead.
and I think it happens. I mean, you're going to find that some of these people they've
Mhm.
created something that is accessed by millions, but there's also other companies that are somewhat attached to the whole concept. So, one going to Anthropic doesn't surprise me at all. It's
Yep.
kind of expected that this bouncing is going to take place between different, vendors of these utilities because of the fact that they're so
Yep.
following the same structure. I mean, you can move from one to another. It's like me in engineering. I could move from one civil engineering firm to another, to another, to another without any
Yep.
hesitation because I was simply advancing my career every time I made a move. And that's really
Yep.
what they're doing here. They're just advancing their career in AI in that
Yep.
environment by finding the right place for themselves. And that's perfectly acceptable. All right,
Yep.
let's move on to what else we've got. You mentioned for just a second there the idea of getting some barriers cleared for business owners.
Yeah.
We've got a real
Yeah.
problem with people figuring out how to use AI and what it should be used for and how to apply it. What is the problem here, Ray? Why is this such a difficult undertaking for small business?
Right. So it's a good question, Leland. So I was conducting a interview with my customers, right? So
Mhm,
I have finished about 7 of the interviews, and during the course of the conversation, I realized that the problems that we have been talking about still exist in the AI industry as a whole.
mhm,
The first quite problem is that business owners still do not know what AI can do for them in the real world. I mean, what problems the AI can solve, right? That's number one problem. And second, number two problem is that it's still too complicated for the business owners to utilize AI, even prompt engineering, to solve their own problems and set up their workflow and do the
mhm,
automation. So
mhm,
two issues. First, they do not know what AI actually can do to solve their real world problems and make money for the business
mhm.
owners. That's the number one problem. Second, they do not know how to use AI. I mean, the entry barrier for bring AI to automate the business still too high. So that's the impression that I get out of the interview and conversation with my customers. I think that's also NewOaks' mission, to solve the puzzle, right? To lower the entry barrier to the
Mhm.
business owners so that every business owners can know and can get the skills to use AI to solve their own real problems in their daily life, right?
Sure.
For their business.
So
So that's
do you think it's lack of AI speak? Like, do they not gain enough of the terminology? Because I know there's a lot when it comes to just the core of AI. You have to know a little bit of the nomenclature or the glossary that comes with AI in order to have
yeah,
a conversation in that space. Otherwise, you're just going to be like a doe in the headlights and wonder what everybody's talking about when you hear LLM and RPA and all this other stuff that's going on the back end. And yeah, we do need to help educate the small business owner to be able to take on that task. Or should we really be not so concerned about making sure the business owner understands it fully, but just find a means that we can attach that other individual maybe, or because I've applied myself as what I call a CAIO, which is
mhm,
similar to a CEO or a CMO or a CTO, only we're
right,
focused specifically on the AI infusion into the business. We're not worried about marketing. We're not worried about technical aspects of the software that they're running. We just want
yeah,
to implement the application of AI to that. And in order to do
yeah,
that, you have to have somebody in a position of knowledge and expertise to do that for you, or you're going to spend years trying to learn it up front to do it yourself. And I think that's what we're running into here, Ray, is everybody's like, this AI is a one button push, they think, because it's
yeah,
what they're told by a lot of these fake ads that are going through Facebook and YouTube that are like, oh, AI will do everything for you, just push the
right,
button. And it
yeah,
doesn't. So when they get to that point and they go to push the button and realize it doesn't do what they thought it was going to do, then they get frustrated.
right,
So
yeah,
we
exactly.
gotta
So
fix that. We do.
yeah, we definitely do. Just as you said, I think the issue is not that we should teach or tell the jargons of AI to business owners. I
Yeah.
think we should not do that. What we should do is we should make the AI solution easier
Yeah.
for business owners to understand. They do not need to understand, the technical terms of AI. I
Yeah.
think eventually what I see that the business owners when AI is mature, the business owners only need to speak to the chatbot, say, hey, NewOaks AI, I need a automatic workflow to help me to get customers from TikTok or from Facebook or from Instagram. And you capture the lead from the traffic and then convert them into appointments, eventually even make a sales for me. That's it. And I'm in the e-commerce business, make it happen. And then the AI should on the back end, all that AI should have different agents, right, to do the customer acquisition work, and then pass on to the AI agent, which can do the customer engagement and lead conversion. And then there another AI agent can do the appointment booking, and then at last the AI agent can do the payment, handle the payment, and even after sales support stuff. So I think everything should be able to accomplish by the natural conversational way,
Yeah.
just as like we talk to each other, right? Like you talk to me in English. That's it. I don't think anyone needs to understand Python or prompt
No.
engineer and all the fancy jargons or terms,
And I
right?
think that's
So
what's
that's how.
happening. I think that's what's happening, right? Is a lot of people are trying to push this. You have to know this. You have to know this. You won't believe what this AI can do, and generative this and generative that. And you can,
Yeah.
most people, it just goes in one ear and out the other, and they just don't want anything to do with it after that because it's too confusing. It's too complicated. I don't know that stuff. I don't want anything to, I don't want to learn a new thing. That's where they're at. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. We need to find an easier way to implement, which is just like you said, make the conversation do all the work. And if we can make
Exactly.
that conversation do the work, then
Yeah.
it's not work at all for the business owner. They just speak what they need and it does what they do. So what are you going to do when NewOaks is smart enough to make its own NewOaks? Then what are we going to do?
Wow, and then we're going to make a lot of things that News is not capable of doing yet. So we have a lot of things, right? Like connect the human
Yeah.
brain to AI, just like Elon Musk was doing recently, right? Connect our brain to AI so that our brain can talk to AI directly without the voice,
Yeah.
without the need of voice or text message, right? Through they call it electroid, right?
Oh,
Electronode.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
Electronode. That's what I heard.
electronode. Yeah, and talk to the AI. So the speed will be faster, right? And we need to go to the Mars. We need to go to land on the moon
Yeah.
first and go to the Mars. So there are a lot of things that are happening, and there are a lot of jobs need us, Leland. So
Well, what
yeah,
are
not
some
just
what let's talk about that. What are some potential AI applications that you see right now in various industries? I know we're talking on my end. We've
yeah.
had an event. Actually, one person that I know of created an entire event based
Okay.
on automation and workflow that was
Yeah.
not done. It was all done automated. So everyone showed up at the event, they registered for the event. The event was
Yeah.
broadcast on all playback material. So there were no live broadcasters at the time. Everything was on
Okay.
playback. But because of
Wow.
that, they were able to just simply segment each portion of the show so that as the time fell, the new segment would play and everything would fall into place and people would move to different various plenaries or other keynote speakers and things of that nature with automations moving them from room to room.
Wow.
It's coming to a point where, sometimes us as technical directors, we can almost push a couple of buttons and have it do a heck of a lot of stuff that we don't have to worry about after that. But AI
Yeah.
is used for the graphics end, the video production end as well for us. We create B-roll all the time with AI so that
Yeah.
we can inject it into the video productions that we do. We use
Yeah.
AI voiceovers all the time so that we can apply, rather than our own voice, some professional voices or
Yeah.
some voices you might not expect. If you pay the right
Yeah.
rights, you can have a celebrity on your show and stuff like that. But
Exactly.
that's where we're going with it. And then the back end is just all registration and follow through and company and employee and visitor nurturing, is really what it comes
Yeah.
down to. So,
Yeah. So yeah, you're exactly right. So audio and video and multi-module, is the direction to go.
mhm.
So by the end of this year, I picture that audio is the one will come first, and then
Okay.
everybody can, talk to the chatbot so that we can use the text to speech technique, convert the audio to text and have a conversation through cell phone. It's much easier. And also, just as we were talking about the AI agent workflow, I think, as you said, right, we can automate all the different segmentations of the whole process and make it happen. And so that small business owners can also hire a big team of AI agents instead of a real people, right? So that their costs lower. Because the real challenge for small and medium business owners that we cannot afford a gigantic team members who can do everything, right? From branding, marketing, product designing, UI, and R&D, and also the delivery of the products.
Yeah.
So AI will empower the small and medium business owners to leverage the power and to reach out to larger group of audience and do bigger business, right? Bigger scale of their business. So I think
Absolutely.
that's the direction. Yep.
And I think a lot of just solopreneurs and small guys like myself that run a business primarily on solo, a lot of us do. I have people that I hire as team members, but I don't have a team in place over here. I do a lot of that work as an entrepreneur. So when I write marketing plans or when I come up with timeline strategies, or if I just want to throw something at one of my clients and say, here, think about this for a minute, I can go to GPT, come up with a concept to discuss and let it spell it out and break it down in easy to digest components. And I can just forward that sometimes. I have to review some of the content, of course, make sure it's accurate, but my God, the time savings that I have alone as an individual that would require me to get on the phone with somebody, ask them to do the job, provide them the content that they're going to work with, and then wait for the result when I can get it all in 30 seconds just by asking an AI agent for the answer. I have no reason to go the other way. There's just no reason at all.
Sure.
All right,
Exactly. So that's the work.
so let's touch on the new stuff, Ray. A lot of stuff happening at NewOaks. I know we've got a lot of updates to cover in a short amount of time. So I'm going to bullet them real fast and we'll just go through them one at a time. So API documentation for third-party payout systems, missed call text back features, integration of NewOaks AI and the WooCommerce API, along with self-registered users' price plan selection. So let's start with the first one, API documentation for third-party payment systems. I know you took the effort, and I'm going to follow up on that with a video, but tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Right. So literally we spent a week last week, almost a week, just to make the documentation ready so that a business owner can use a no-code platform like Active Pieces to connect their own payment system to NewOaks AI's price plan. For example, you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 price plan, right? But you do not want to use our payment system. You can have your own PayPal or Stripe payment and then connect that to NewOaks AI's API so that customers can pay through the third-party API. So we make the whole documentation ready, step by step, so to make it just easier to follow.
Good.
Yeah. So if you go to dashboard, you can see.
Yep, I'm logging in right now, right? They can't see that yet. I'm going to put it on the screen real quick so they get an idea. So it's under the chat bot setting for the bot, correct? Where we can find this part of this.
Well, the API is Workspace.
Yeah. So it's the webhook API that we were talking about. And we gave a brief demonstration of this in the last video, so I'm not going to step back through it again. But Ray has gone through and created a guide that we can follow for the entire webhook process and be able to go through the receiving endpoints and capture the signatures for each side. So I am going to develop a video showing people how to do this process this week so that you guys get a better understanding of how to walk through this, and we'll take care of that. So looking forward to doing those for you, Ray. All right. Next in line, we've got the missed call text back feature, which I'm excited about because we've had this feature in some of our other bots, and we brought this to Ray's attention when we came to NewOaks, and we were pretty excited when he said, yeah, we could probably work on that. And now he's in testing mode. So where are we at on that one, Ray?
Yeah. Well, we just passed the testing stage, and I'm working with a selective number of existing customers like yourself, right? And just to test it out. So the idea was to just enter your own phone number and set up a call forward to a Twitter number that we specify.
Mhm.
And then it's one click and it's done. And then when someone call your number and if you miss the call, the chatbot will send out a automatic predefined message, say, hey,
Mhm.
this is this is Leland, I didn't get your call, I'm going to get it back within 20 minutes, and this is my number, blah 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 blah. And
Mhm.
then if the consumer or the visitor reply back, then the chatbot will take over the conversation, start to engage the conversation,
Oh,
and to do the lead capture and appointment booking and stuff. So the whole idea is to automate the whole process of missed call text back, so that you have less and you don't drop any missed calls, right? You
yeah.
get higher conversion rate for your leads.
Yeah, and we found
So
great success with those, Ray, because we've been applying that same technique for almost over a year now with some of our
yeah,
clients. And what we find immediately is that, yeah, if you can't answer your phone within 5 minutes of that call coming in, you're likely
yeah,
going to lose that customer, because the first thing somebody does when they call and they don't get an answer, if they're looking
yeah,
up numbers, they're going to call the
yeah,
next one that they have in their line, and they're going to keep going until someone answers. So if you
right,
have a call text back feature that at least accepts that call and can, with literally within 60 seconds, sometimes less, respond to that caller and say, hey, we saw you just called. We will get back with you as soon as possible. Just give us a minute.
yeah,
That gives a lot of trust to the user, because they're like, oh, these guys pay attention. They know I
yeah,
called. They're looking out for me. They're not just
yeah,
having calls come in and, oh, well, we'll answer that one tomorrow.
yeah,
That's what a lot of
exactly.
people do, and that's a lot
Yeah,
of people, how a lot of people lose business.
yeah, exactly. So the response time is the most critical element in terms of conversion rate. The shorter response time and the better result will be.
Mhm. All right, what about
Yeah.
WooCommerce? I'm not a big WooCommerce user myself. And what WooCommerce is, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically a plugin build for WordPress that allows you to create a e-commerce store within
Yep.
WordPress itself. It doesn't run standalone. It's something that has to be incorporated into a WordPress build in order for it to function properly.
Exactly. Yeah, the reason that some of our customers use WooCommerce because they are technical savvy, and WooCommerce is an open source platform
Mhm.
versus Shopify, right? So what we do is that we want to enable the one-click train the bot feature, that if you have a e-commerce website built with WooCommerce plugin under WordPress, and you just enter the URL and you enter the API endpoint and authorize us to do the automation for you, then boom, with one click, all the products, thousands of the inventory production data will be used to train your chatbot in real time, and will be automatically synchronized. So that way, there's no need to do all the setup of the chatbot, do
Yeah.
all the prompting and stuff. Just one click, just as we said, the the entry barrier of implementing your chatbot to your website will be lower from here and to right here. Yeah, the bar was much lower. Anyone can do that. So that's the purpose.
So what type, I just got to ask, Ray, I know that's a tremendous task to take and parse the data that you had to parse out of an application to apply it as a training feature set. What was done, if I can ask, what was done on the back end in NewOaks to pull that off? If you can give us just a not in-depth IP detail, but what is it you have to do to pull that off?
Mhm.
How much
Right.
technical detail is there?
Yeah, good question. So I think there are like 3 or 4 major steps that we have to do. The first thing that we need to pull the data out of the WooCommerce or WordPress website, right? And then we parse the data into a more structured knowledge base. So that's the first thing, parsing and trunking, right? Making it more structured. And secondly, we use the structured data to train the chatbot, so that the chatbot, whenever the chatbot is engaging with the visitors, they can use embedding technology to get the information out of the knowledge base to make sure the accuracy of the answer, right? And then the third technology that which is the prompting, right? So we take parameters from the input from the visitors,
Mhm.
and then communicate that with the backend. So it's a two-way communication data flow instead of just one way, just you answer the questions right to the visitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also take the input from the visitors and use that to get data and talk to the backend of the your e-commerce website. So that's the three major steps that we're taking.
All right, I've got a question for you, and this is a little
Yeah,
off topic, but you said something that made me remember it, and it happened
yeah,
during a use of one of the NewOaks AI bots. And I was kind of surprised it did what it did. I
uh-huh,
told the bot it was wrong
yeah,
when it answered in a specific way, and I said, "No, you shouldn't do that. That's not correct. You need to try again," kind of thing. And it
yeah,
realized it was wrong, and it corrected itself.
yeah.
Is the bot capable of being trained by prompt of the user if it says something wrong? I'm just curious because I think right now in the state that it's in, that
Mhm.
may be possible. So we may want to confirm that. I'm just throwing it out there, Ray, because I
Yeah,
experienced it myself using the bot, and I want to know if anyone
uh-huh,
else try using your bot, and if it gives you an improper answer, tell it
yeah,
no, you should have said, or
mhm,
whatever it might be, to
yeah,
replace that answer, and see if the bot fixes itself. See if the
right.
bot actually trains itself on that comment, because I want to know if it's possible. I've seen it happen. I don't know if it was a
Uh-huh.
fluke or a weird hallucination that the bot did when I did that or what. So I want to find out if it's something that happened.
I think the bot cannot train itself yet.
Okay.
You have an opportunity to revise the answer and train the
Yeah.
bot again. But yeah, that's what it can. You can revise the answer and train the bot again. But our goal is to make the bot self-trained so
Okay.
that when you tell the bot it's not right, he'll remember it. So I think what it needs, it does
That
need a
might be it.
temporary memory, right?
Hmm.
To
Hmm.
remember the revised answer and then to do self-training. So that's the goal of
Gotcha.
our R&D. Yeah, but
Well,
it's
that
not
makes
in
sense.
place.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that makes sense. All right. And then the last one that we had on here, Ray, well, actually, no, that was the last one. Self-registered user price plan selection. Can you
Yeah.
kind of give me the understanding? I know I'll bring it up on the workspace so that people can
Right.
kind of get an understanding of how the price plans look over here. So we'll
Right.
just put this on the screen for a second.
Yep.
Basically, as a white label owner, I'm able to come in here on the back end through the workspace, and under the price plan settings in the menu, I can add
Yep.
various price plans that I want to generate for my users. And I simply come over here
Yep.
and add a new price plan with a name,
Mhm.
status, whether it's live or inactive, and then the interval as to how they're going to be charged, and then what features they're going to receive for the amount you provide in the box. So tell me what you've added to this, Ray. What's new over here?
Yeah. So on top of that, so that's for self-registered users.
Yep.
Means that when someone go to your website, say leland.com, right, or livestudio.com, and then they register, and then they by default they go to the free trial plan, and
Hmm.
then so they go to a self-registered workspace on the backend, right?
Yep.
And then whenever you want to upgrade the customer into a higher tier price plan, or you want to move the customer to a different customized tier plan, there will be a drop down list that you can choose a different price plan
Hmm.
per sub account. And after
Gotcha.
you select and save it, the user will be moved from self registered workspace to a target workspace. So
Gotcha.
we're going to make all the different plans. We make one tier price plan a specific workspace so that all of the users will fall into different price plans, eventually be clustered by
Hmm.
their own workspace. So that's the
Got it.
goal, just to make
Okay.
the agency owners' life easier.
Yeah, and just to give a demonstration, this is how I've set up my NewOaks account currently, which is not including the new feature that Ray just mentioned. So I have a workspace set up with various plans that I have, which is the AI Pro account, the Essentials account, the Pro Annual account, and then any who have come in and self-registered for the free account just by stopping by the website and entering their name and email. So it's really a matter of being able to move these accounts between workspaces and say that I accidentally had, well, say I had somebody self-register in the bottom account and now they want to buy the annual account. I can simply drag their account from one workspace into another and now they're set up with the new account, or do I have to still go through and establish all of the account feature sets a la carte for that account? I'm just curious. Is that something where you could create a workspace that's fully set up with all the features that it needs, and then you could just drag the user into it and it would receive all of those features for their account? Or do we still have to do it individually for each account?
Yeah, it's the first option that you just said. So it's
Okay.
going to, yeah, we're going to, you just need to drag the users to the specific workspace and
Oh,
drop
that's
it there,
awesome.
and automatically the user will have all the preset features ready.
That's
So
unique. That's not the
yeah,
way we're used to, because normally we have to produce a package all the way down the line. And if somebody gets applied that package, you
yeah,
can sometimes edit that package specifically for that user, which makes
yeah,
it, you can do both here now though. So we
yeah,
could create a workspace that's specific to the program we're going to put them in. And then we
yeah,
could even tweak those bots individually under the workspace. So that's cool.
exactly, exactly.
Very awesome, Ray. I love what I'm here. We do have a couple people that just stopped by recently. We got Stop Ahead Web saying thanks and that would be awesome as well. And Michael Ruiz also says excellent to a lot of these ideas that have come through. So that's all we have for the features today. And we're going to wrap this up real quick, Ray, with the last few things. And that is really about the customer interviews that you already have in progress. You've done 7 now out of the 20 I think
Yeah,
you want to do. So
yes,
tell us about
yes.
how that's going.
So I've been doing customer interviews with a lot of our existing customers. So I have finished about 7, and then I have another 13 to go. So well, welcome to contact me, reach out to me, or DM me if you're interested to talk to me. The purpose of the conversation is really understand what you as our customer or potential customer, prospect customers, right? What's your use case, and what you think NewOaks AI's chatbot can help you to solve the problem for you, solve your what's your pinpoint, right?
Yeah.
What you expect us NewOaks AI can do for you to improve your productivity. So out of the 7 customer I have been interviewing, it's very very encouraging and very fruitful that so some of them are in the e-commerce industry. So some of them are using WooCommerce. So they want a one-click solution just to use the website to train the chatbot without manually update or synchronize data. So that's why I built a one-click integration work, right? And some of them want the chatbot can talk to the visitors and capture lead in a conversational way. So that's the feature that we had, which is called conversational lead, right?
Mhm.
And some of them, for example, I talked to one of our European customer who is in Italy, and he has a customer who is a high-end restaurant, and they want to take voice phone calls from their customers to make reservations in their fancy restaurants. But they expect everything to be done in the form of voice, AI voice.
Mhm.
That's exactly the direction that we're going. So
Mhm.
a lot of fun stuff, and also I found out that one of our chatbot is already be used by Italy's some like their local government using the
Nice.
explain the tax stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
they use our chatbot to explain the tax policies to their residents. So
Oh,
there
wow.
are a lot of interesting applications out there. I'm
There
very
are.
excited, and I look forward to solve more problems. But the key, as I said, is to lower the entry barrier, to lower the learning curve of business owners to use AI so that you can just basically talk to the chatbot and make everything, automatic.
I
So
like that
that's the goal.
idea. I'm
Yeah.
excited to have that little virtual mini me sitting next to me that I can tell it to do
Yeah.
stuff and have stuff show up on the screen when it when it
Yeah,
needs to be there. I'm just looking
exactly.
forward to it. So we're just going to recap real quick. We've covered the fact that Character AI was acquired by Google for $2.5 billion recently. Greg Brockman's taken a little hiatus over at OpenAI, and along with the fact that Greg Brockman is kind of,
Mhm.
along with his partner, what's his buddy's name? I forget the other guy's name, the co-founder, Schulman
John
over
Swim.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
John
heading
Swim.
over to Anthropic. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
shakeup going on in the industry. I think it's just
yep,
people realizing who they work best with. There's a lot of people that want to jump on this AI train, but you get into a car and maybe you don't like the guys you're working with in that car. So you move down the train a little ways and get in another car and work with those guys. So that's kind of what I
exactly.
think is happening right now. Other than that, we missed one topic, right? And we'll close with this one. SpaceX released Raptor 3 for the Starship. Why don't
All
we
right.
just make a quick mention real quick about what's going
Yeah.
on? Give a brief overview of the engine and its
Well, yeah,
significance. What's the significance here?
exactly. Yeah, so the reason that I mentioned that is that Elon recently released two pictures, right? One is Raptor 1 engine, and the other is Raptor 3. So he did a comparison of those two engine pictures. Well, the reason I mentioned that is that Raptor 3, the whole engine is so simple. I mean, it's so easy to, yeah, exactly. That's the picture you see, right? Raptor 3 is only like 25% the cost of Raptor 1. Raptor 1 costs you $1 million and Raptor 3 costs only about 250K
Hmm.
to build. But the horsepower and the thrust is 50% more. You see the
Wow.
complexity is different because Raptor 3, they reduce a lot of useless features. They reduce the heat shield, and they reduce. You see the picture that reduce a lot of plumbing and sensors, right, on the
Yeah,
Raptor
just
3
looking at the three
versus,
different diagrams. I mean, you got one that looks
yeah,
like a cluster of wires, hose, tubes, and pipes, and the other thing's so
yeah,
streamlined and sleek, it doesn't even look like it should
exactly.
run.
So what does had to do with AI? I think the key is that what Elon make a really good statement said he reviews the requirements for Raptor 1,
Hmm.
and he sees that a lot of requirements are just for redundancies, right? Just to
Yeah.
be safe, to make sure the safety is there's no need to make a lot of features and requirements, right? So he reduced the number of requirements, and then boom, and the cost is lower, but the performance is actually better. So I
Yeah.
think that's the first principle. Same it's happened to us too, right? Same thing that when I build a chatbot, it's not about more features. It's
Hmm.
about what is the most important feature. One or three can really solve the problem. Let's focus on those important features, but forget everything that you think or the customer think want, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's about the review, always review the requirements and
Mhm.
make the requirement less dumb. So that's Elon's words, right? Makes less dumb, and boom, then you get a better product with lower price.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I
And we
think
all win.
yeah, exactly.
We've
Exactly. So
all been
win-win
winning.
situation.
Yeah, every time a new model comes about and it saves the need for extra components or extra labor or extra anything, we
Yeah,
win because we save money. And that's something
yeah,
all of you should be looking forward when using AI is how can you apply it? How can you use it to take less time in your business, take less effort in your business, or take less money from your pocket by wasting time paying others to do work for you? So I hope
yeah.
everybody's gathered some good insights today from NewOaks AI's podcast. And we'll hope to see you again next Tuesday at 10 a.m., where we do this every week, where Ray sits down, gives me a little bit of insight on what's going on in the AI trends of the world, and tells us all about the newest features that he's bringing to NewOaks AI. So thanks again for all your time, Ray. And let
Yeah.
us thank the dev team as well. They're doing a fantastic job of putting all the components together on that end. And we'll let you get back to work, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Thank you, Lidan. See you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.